This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Oh! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
It's very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Trying here. iRacing, Climb to the Clouds, Mount Washington Hill Climb available now. Check it out.
Welcome to the Simworx Sports Car E-Series here at, not Okayama, that is definitely Watkins Glen, as we get ready for the next round of our championship. Round number 3 here in the season. The drivers are currently out in qualifying at the moment. My name is Jay Kennedy. Alongside me tonight is Nick Scrave. I'm filling in for Jake Sperry. Nick, it's going to be a very, very cool night of racing. We saw some action last week at Silverstone. Watkins Glen always throws big curveballs. It's pretty much born for pack racing, and with 50 odd cars, this is going to be an absolutely epic show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. Thank you for having me. And you're exactly right there. We had made the actual iRacing Twitter, Facebook, and their Instagram. Did have the TCR cars here about a month or so back. Absolutely action-packed, and absolutely expecting the same with the MX-5 here with the 15-minute heat one, as well as the half an hour feature race as well. So also the full invert that we've got, a little bit of a trademark here that we have for the Simworx series. So it's going to be so much action, and there's going to be cars and panels going everywhere. We've already seen in practice as well as qualifying one, we've seen a little bit of carnage and people just trying to find their spot. It's all really about trying to, especially in this qualifying session, trying to get in behind someone and just make the most of that draft.
Yeah, 100%. It's a very, very draft dependent track, and as you just saw there, as Nick said, 30-minute race coming up after we finish our 15-minute sprint race with a full reverse grid and also a 2-tyre pit stop. And drivers have worked out that taking fronts or taking rears is not the option. You take lefts or rights. You're probably going to take right side tyres around this one with how many aggressive right-hand corners there are, I'm sorry, left-hand tyres, with how many right-hand corners there are, those left-hand tyres are going to have a real beating. But in the other part to that, do you want to keep the left side tyres already warmed up because they've already got some grip to them? So it's a real fine dynamic that we're going to see out there tonight. But we are here at Watkins Glen, as we said. Have a little look at the track, the classic layout. There we go, it actually worked. Here at Watkins Glen in the state of New York in the USA, 5.5 odd kilometres in length. This version is not running the inner loop, or sometimes called the bus stop chicane. 11 turns around this circuit. Very, very familiar to most sim racers and a lot of real world drivers as well. Of course, used to host Formula One back in the 70s and 80s, did this layout. Of course, you got the outer loop at turn 5, the very, very famous S as well, through turns 2, 3 and 4. Then you get into the boot section, through the chute, down into the toe, into the heel. And then you come back out onto what is the NASCAR Cup circuit at turn 9. Finish it off with turn 10 and turn 11. But for me, I think turn 1 is one of the most unique corners on the track. It starts so wide and the exit just keeps on going. Drivers can use so much road plus more. It really does draw people in and suck people in to use a lot more than they probably should.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. And being concrete as well, it's not until you clip that grass there that invalidates your lap. So thankfully, we've seen most of the drivers, apart from about 10 or so, including Lee Harrison, not setting laps so far as well. So we've still got quite a lot of time in the session. But I think actually adding that boot in there is going to assist these guys a little bit more. It is going to spread that field out. As it is pushing those laps around that 2 minutes. I think we've only had one driver in practice, I think, just nudge their way into the 2 minutes and 5. They're all around that 2 minutes and 6 there, especially with such a massive field as well. I think running that inner loop might have made it a bit difficult there with lap traffic and whatnot. I do think lap traffic is going to be a consideration, especially on such a high drafting and a high speed drafting track. We're just looking here at Caleb Hydes at the moment. Currently first there with a 2 minutes 5 and 3, so quite a fair bit faster there than what we've seen in practice as well. You can see that he's got a really good toe there, and you can see him actually running up there. Bunch of cars up ahead trying to buy for track position there at the moment. I think that's going to be really critical.
Yeah, and Aaron Russell in P2, he'll be very, very happy with that. You can see the colours also on the left of screen as well with everyone's car numbers. They identify the drivers as running in the Pro or in the AM class, because blue for Pro, as you can see on the side of Caleb's car there, the number panel. The blue numbers do mean Pro driver, and AM is our red driving class. This field will mix up that Pro and AM a little bit more, because there's a lot more luck involved in regards to how you get the toe to where you finish in qualifying. I think we're going to see a lot more luck decide the grid as opposed to true out-and-out pace in this session.
Yeah, absolutely, and a good showing there by Drop Bear Motorsport. I was fortunate enough to chat with their team owner a little bit earlier on in the week. They have a pretty slick setup there, and you can imagine there with Caleb Hydes really charging as well as his teammate as well, who did not get the chance to see last night, but they will be trying to go for that team's championship as well. It is quite a big prize pool. You can just see Caleb Hydes just backing out of it.
But he actually went faster on that lap as well. Matthew Hansford-Taylor just popped up into P number 3 as well in the 97k. You can just see him there, so he's going better. Lee Harrison also just got a lap in as well, pops himself into position number 7. You can see Anthony Connors, he won't get a decent lap in here because he is helping other cars around and decides to back out of it, bringing it back into the pits and have another crack at it. Mitch Mccloud in P16 will be upset with that, especially with his teammate being ahead of him at the moment. There's a bit of friendly rivalry between the teammates, Aaron Russell and Mitch Mccloud. And Mitch not being in the front quarter of the field, he'll be disappointed with that, as Glen Wood makes a big jump up the field up into P9.
Yeah, absolutely. There we've seen a lot of action from Glenwood, having a bit of bad luck in that last round at Silverstone. Unfortunately, off in both races as well. So also seeing, I think, Wayne Losh, one of the series admin as well, quite far up the order there. He's currently sitting there in that 6th place. So just a touch over Lee Harrison. You can actually see Hyde's really stretching out the field. He's over half a second clear of Aaron Russell there. So usually we see, usually that top 10 are usually split by only about half a second, but I think with Hyde's earlier pace there, it's actually blown out that top 10 to about 1.1 seconds or so.
We've got 2 drivers yet to put in lap times. Ryan Norman has not jumped out on the track yet, and Sebastian Vardnell has not put a lap time in. So we've got 52 cars here for this week. Of course, we had 57 last week, which after the race, a lot of drivers and myself complained about a lot of PC issues with so many cars out on track. So I think a few people are relieved to see that we haven't quite got as many as what we had last week. This week, a few less will make things a little bit less stressful for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I dare say it was actually Corey McFarlane that I was thinking of, that has been so competitive in both this and some of the TCR series that we've seen on Monday nights as well. I don't think he's actually out here at the moment.
No.
I think Drop Bear Motorsport will be...
He'll be racing in a different series tonight, unfortunately. A few drivers will be off racing Porsches tonight, which are AOG, Aussie Online Gaming, who we run the NASCAR series with. They run their Porsche series on Tuesday night, and most of the admin team are part of Drop Bear Motorsport, so that's probably explains why Drop Bear guys don't quite have as big a turnout tonight as they did last week. Yeah,
and we are looking towards that team's championship at the moment there with Team WBT of Mitch Mccloud and Wayne Losh, so both of them not too bad. Mitch Mccloud currently sitting a little bit further down than what we normally see him there. He's car number 40, currently around that 20th position or so. So he'll, if you can try and latch onto the back of car 27 there, might actually have a bit better of a chance to try and grab that draft. He does look a little bit too far back to make the most of that. Still about 8 minutes left on the clock though, so plenty of time, maybe almost up to another 4 laps that this group here can do.
Yeah, remember it's a hard cut for qualifying as well, so when you hit that limit, the session ends and we are done for qualifying. So not like you see out in the real world where you can continue on, because we're running a heat format event with 2 races back to back. We do cut the qualifying as a hard cut.
Yeah,
that's an extra consideration for the drivers to make.
Yeah, absolutely. I might just ask you, Jay, while you're there, if we do have a point standing. I do have it in hand.
Oh, look, I do. Actually, I hadn't even thought about that. I made points graphics up this morning. Let me put them up on screen. What do you want to start with, the Pro or the AM? You tell me.
Oh, we'll start with the Pro and work our way backwards.
Done. Here it comes.
There you go. We can hear the gentle sounds there of the MX-5s in the background. So Ryan Casher there to Wayne Losh, quite close in between those two. We saw Caleb Hydes has some absolute ripper pace there. Has unfortunately just had some really bad luck there, especially at that Silverstone round. Martin Turner actually fastest in earlier practice earlier in the week there. So he'll be definitely one to watch, as well as Mitch Mccloud at the moment, trying to work his way up the field where he currently is. Lee Harrison, Aaron Oliver there, Jack Childs doing quite well there in 8th place. Ashley Norman and Adam Sharp there rounding out our top 10.
We talked about it the other day in regards to penalties potentially deciding a championship, and McLeod picked up a penalty right at the start of the very first race of the season at Okayama, and that cost him a few points. That could cost him the championship win, considering he's only 28 points behind. He'll be hurting after going back and seeing if that costs him, especially with some decent cash up for grabs for these guys as well in these classes too. So this is the AM class. Anthony Connors leading the way. John King, Greg Holmes, and Darren Linus the top 4. Interesting thing with these guys is, although they're racing the same race, their point structure is completely independent of the pro drivers. So even if the lead AM driver wins the race overall, they only get points based on their AM class. They don't get base points off the overall victory. So the second place could finish 20th overall in the grid, but they still get marked as positions 1 and 2. So their points are independent, which means that the AM championship will be very, very close regardless of what way it goes the whole way through. Some interesting names in there that are a little bit further down. Jesse White-Carrick, I'm interested to see how he goes. Darren Sharp as well will be looking to improve as well, now that he's got his name changed and he's back to his real one rather than his drunk name that he put into iRacing when he first signed up.
Yeah, that's right. Darren M. Sharp. We do see Jesse White-Carrick about halfway through the field, so he'll definitely be one to watch. He was showing some great pace there in practice, so just trying to knock a bit of a lap together as well. I think Caleb Hyde's actually improving.
I'll tell you who's on a good lap is this guy here. Purple middle sector, personal best first sector. He's got draft, but he's worried about going past here because he's going to lose all of the draft and all of the help. He's got to be careful here. That is Darren Sharp. No, sorry, that's Adam Sharp just ahead in the 17. We can tell it's a Sharp car because it's SRT Sharp Racing, but it's also some sort of electrical company on there, and we know from watching oh, that's unfortunate for Aaron Oliver. He did actually make contact there, so he's had to back out of it. He's going to jump in the back of the queue and have one more crack at this. But we could see Aaron Oliver jump all the way up to the front here because that first sector was... I can't see many better than it. And the middle sector, well, sector 2 I should say. The iRacing counting 5 sectors at this track. The sector 2 was the best by probably a 1/10.5. So that's pretty extreme. That's the section from the exit of the S's all the way down into the carousel. To be a 1/10.5 quicker at a full throttle section just shows how much of a draft advantage there is at this track.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's in that hot seat as well. He's sitting behind teammate Lee Harrison, and we know Lee Harrison, absolute demon on the brakes as well. So he's going to be able to give Aaron Oliver that great pull. Almost, they're going to have to, that gap between them, I think, they can't really bump draft because it could invalidate the lap, so they might actually have to swap behind each other a little bit as well. You are right there, Jay. I do believe the Sharp family are electricians. They usually rock the middies, and I think one of the other electrical distributors in the Club Day Masters TCR series. So I'm sure they spend a lot of time with each other if they're working alongside and then spending a good part of the night with each other. Gee, Aaron Oliver, that is actually Lee Harrison running a little bit wide there, both two wheels onto the grass, so that could be potentially invalidating his lap. So
well, they've already slingshot past each other in this lap, so you saw the slingshot down the straight to get the positional change. Qualifying is pretty much over for anyone that hasn't started a lap with only 2 minutes 2 on the clock. And who is going to be probably the last driver on a lap? Probably the 49 of Marty Turner might get a lap in, but we'll see. There's a big plume of smoke there coming out of turn 9 and over the bridge.
I think we will see. Oh, that was the Sharp Racing team car there. I think that might have been Adam Sharp spinning around as well. We'll see how they come through there. I honestly wasn't too sure if Lee Harrison's lap will stick there. We're actually seeing those two cars come through that pit entry there, so that'll be, well, we won't have to worry about that for Heat 1, but that will be something to look out for the feature race, for cars to absolutely jam on the brakes there. Aaron Oliver in a second place.
Yep, that was a good lap there from Aaron Oliver.
Yeah, great work there. Great teamwork there by the Simworx racing team. There is plenty of cars out on track, so it would be kind of difficult to try and work out where everyone is there. So they are Simworx Extreme Racing there, so currently sitting 5th in the championship. Though do expect them to shuffle up a little bit further up. Both of them pretty well clear there of Chicken Up Racing, as well as I think Phoenix Smokers having a pretty good run there in the team's championship in second place. They're a little bit further down there at the moment.
Caleb Hydes doesn't improve on his final attempt. We've got a few other drivers that are still on laps. The drivers that are on decent laps as well, but we're going to run out of time. Only 10 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if Glen Wood can finish this lap. He's just coming through the final corner, about to cross the line. He's going to finish the lap, but he is nowhere near good enough. That is qualifying done. We're going to have to smash through this grid because we've got 52 cars to go through in literally 2 minutes. Caleb Hydes, Aaron Oliver, Aaron Russell. We've got the two Aarons spelt differently on the second and third position with Mitch Mccloud, Matthew Hansford-Taylor and Ryan Casher. The top 6. We go over to Jared Hughes, Wayne Losh, Lee Harrison, Brody Cook, Glenwood and Kai Allen, the top 12. Then we've got Sebastian Vardnell, Moz Moroz, Luke Claver and Marty Turner. Rounding out the top 16. The first of the AM drivers in red is Anthony Connors alongside Tom Huggan, I should say. We've got Todd George, Neil McKenzie, Lucas McAuliffe, Damien Seeger, Brady Owen, Lucas Stasi. Go back further to Mark Johnson, Stephen Folks, Darren Whittington, Jack Childs, Adam Sharp, long way back for Adam Sharp, starting 29th. Jesse White Carrigan, 30th. We continue on, the names just keep on coming. Joel Proctor, Brenton Bull, Mark Foster. Then we go to Steve McMahon, Simon Smith, Greg Holmes. Then we continue on into 37th place. John King, Ben Ferguson, Tony Vaselis, and David Gogol in position 40. Position 41 is Lachlan Hewitt. Darren Linus next in 42nd. Then we've got John Thorne, Joshua Maynard, Richie Domingo, Bard Rodkin, J.S. Walker, Philip Paradiso in 48th. And the last page, I've still got a little bit of breath left. Darren Sharp. Wow, that's a long way back for Darren. Starting in 49th position. 50th is Wade McCulloch. Then we got Graham Ellis and Ryan Ullman rounding out the last row. 52 cars, 15 minutes. Lights are on. We're ready to go. This is going to be a fun race as the green flag flies and away we go. And a relatively clean start most of the way through the field, it seems. Everyone's got away. Very, very clean start the whole way through the field. Great launch from Caleb Hydes. Aaron Oliver there with him. There's been contact in the midfield. Had a little bit of a spin for Damien Seeger in the 747, but he's recovered it without anyone else making huge contact into him, which is very, very surprising. As they come up the hill for the first time, we're going to see 3 wide, 4 wide. There's a huge accident though. Absolutely massive accident. Glen Wood's involved. The 44 car of Sebastian Vardnell's involved. Todd George is involved. You've got smoke flying out of the car. The front of the field they continue on, but we're going to have a look at that. I think we're going to have to hold off until the end of this race though, Nick. The piss off lost Nick as well. Nick's having some tech issues, so flying solo for a second. Aaron Oliver has shuffled in behind Caleb Hydes. 97 car of Matthew Hansford-Taylor there in the lead pack, as well as Mitch Mccloud and Aaron Russell. Todd Hughes around the outside in the 118 car. He's just starting to try and gain some spots. But we will need to go back and have a look at that incident later on. Still a little bit of side-by-side going on. Smoke still billowing out of the back of Todd George's car. There's contact between Whittington and Bull coming through the toe of the boot. Is Marty Atkins up the inside of Anthony Connors. Additional change there for those two. Get my breath back. The front of the field, Hydes, now Hansford, Taylor, McLeod, Oliver and Hughes, the top 5. Aaron Russell's gone from 2nd to 6th within 3 corners, and he might lose another one. Ryan Casher, who won last week in race number 1, trying to close up and take that spot away. Very, very cool battle the whole way through the field as we're on board here with Ryan Casher. Just behind you can see Wayne Losh looking up the inside there of Lee Harrison. Didn't quite get it done. Sorry, that was Kai Allen looking up the inside of Lee Harrison. Couldn't quite get the positional change in the 260. As Nick's finally joined us back
We
again,
are.
you've missed some action, buddy.
I think my computer was so nervous about what was coming up that it actually kicked itself out.
It
So
imploded itself.
that was absolutely the worst possible time for the internet to cut out just as the race was starting. But I do see Caleb Hyde's there with Mitch Mccloud in, currently side by side. One of the Simworx cars there. I think that might be
That's Oliver.
over there, sticking to the outside.
Just also been, just noticed I was sent a message from Aaron Oliver at the end of qualifying saying, McLeod, aren't you lucky that I'm in the session with you? Because he dragged him all the way from the back of the field in qualifying up into the top 4 or 5, so into 4th I think it was. So, he got very, very lucky there having a teammate to help him with qualifying, and we saw all the way through qualifying that teammates were the key to it, weren't they? Teammates helping teammates was enough to get you bulk positions, and the teammates that weren't working well together are the ones that are further back.
Yeah, absolutely there as well. Wayne Losh still sitting up there around that 8th place there at the moment, but good work there by Mitch Mccloud. And that's the thing, really, what we've got here at Watkins Glen too. It's not really where you are, like through the middle part. As long as you can kind of stick with that mid-pack, we're going to see people wanting to kind of save their move there. Gee, bit of a slide there. I think that might have been from car 260 there coming through. But yeah, especially for these top 5 as well, they're not really going to start be putting in those attacks until a little bit later on there when we've only got a couple of laps to go.
This is Aaron Russell looking back up the inside of Wayne Losh, and just seeing the background there too. Brody Cook has got through on Lee Harrison. Going to go back up further because making moves is Ryan Casher. He's just gained himself another spot, so he's up in the 5th, so he's up, I think, 4 spots from where he started. I don't believe that's right, he started 6th, but...
Yeah, I think
it very well could be.
Oh, geez, I think that's a bit of a bump there from Aaron Oliver there, pulling out in behind, so Aaron Oliver actually being hung out to dry there. You can see clean air up ahead of him. Oh, sorry, that's Aaron Russell at the moment. I think the padding from the roll cage is slightly blocked, but he's a little bit adrift here of this front group at the moment. Hands for Taylor there down the inside of Aaron Oliver.
Yep, so that's position number 3 now for Matthew Hansford Taylor. We've got a couple of cars that are slow. It's been, a huge crash. Marty Turner involved, Lucas McAuliffe involved, also got Mark Johnson involved as well. We're going to have another look at that one during the break between races 1 and 2. This race is just too hectic to go and have a look at big replays like that now, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, and I think I might have missed out on some of that carnage there, potentially in those first couple of corners, but we always knew that it was always going to be pretty out there. Behaving quite well at the front, though. Aaron Oliver in quite deep. I think that might be on car 97 there. Ryan Casher there picking another one off, so that's actually put him into top 4. See, I think Aaron Hughes, I think he's all over the back at the moment. Single file through this, wouldn't even really call it the technical part of the circuit, but that real sweeping chicane there through the back.
Yeah, the last 2 turns here, really, as you said, technical. They're a lot more difficult than they look on paper, especially when you compare them to some of the other parts of the track. On paper, this looks like a real simple track. And probably when you do a track walk, it probably doesn't look too technical, but some of the corners you can be a lot more aggressive than you think, and others you really have to be way less aggressive than your original mindset will tell you to do.
Yeah, absolutely there. And it's also really governed by these radial tyres as well, so...
We'll get 3 right. Aaron Oliver changing lanes as well. He was going to follow McLeod and decided, no, I'm going to jump in behind Caleb Hyde, who's still got the lead of the race. Ryan Casher decided he wanted none of it and backed in behind Oliver.
Yeah, it's almost picking your horse a little bit there. Caleb Hyde's taking that really wide apex there. Aaron Oliver, just stay away from that rear quarter there. Ryan Casher, though, definitely trying to pick a way through here at the moment. It's a wall of MX-5 in front of him. Currently at the moment, McLeod there hung out to drive, so that's going to slot him down into fourth place there. Hands for Taylor is very, very close to the back.
What a cool fight this is, though. Where we got the top 11 in this group here. And then there's only a second or two back to the next group. Oh no, McLeod has made a little bit of contact there with hands for Taylor. Lost a little bit of ground. Ryan Casher, though. There he is there. Look at the damage to the side of his car.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be quite detrimental as well, being such a high-speed track. You really can't afford to have anything hampering your top speed. So that's going to, unfortunately, going to drop him like a stone. So you'll have to pin probably more of his hopes there on that feature race coming up.
6.5 minutes to go. Hey, what, this is going to be borderline as to whether we're going to have 3 to go or 4 to go. It's going to be really, really close because the lap pace pretty much puts them right on 0 seconds. We'll find out in 2 more laps time as to whether we'll get 2 more to go after that. We're only 1. Jack Childs and Adam Sharp go side by side. Oh, gee, Adam Sharp, he almost ended up in the tyre bundle out there. On the new track, that's paved the whole way. There's no grass, so he could have been even more aggressive.
He's actually made that almost into a bit of a chicane there with how aggressive that rejoin is at the moment. Great looking livery there from Sharp Racing on board at the moment here with Stephen Fawkes from Bitten Motorsport. Quite a good charger there, up around 8 positions or so.
Oh, look at this ahead. Yeah, if you're not nervous when you're at the back of this group, I don't know what's going on because you just know that something's going to happen. At the front, they're doing the same thing, but I think this group here, this is the second main group. I think this is where the action's going to be. And you can see, have a look at that. We were on board with Stephen Fawkes. He just backed out of it altogether. He didn't want to be a part of it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So great to see a few of these AM drivers really mixing it up here in this second group. So you are right before that you spoke about how that progressive point system works. So you only have to be beating each other really to make the most of that points there. You can see 2 by 2. Ryan Casher is going to be a sitting duck here on one of the fastest sections. You can see that front damage to his MX-5, so he's going to slow him up.
He's going to get caught by this group and gobbled up pretty quick, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely there. I think that might be Anthony Connors there from the Phoenix Smokers racing team, one of the series admins as well, so doing a great job keeping everyone in check.
I must say I did look up Phoenix Smokers on the weekend to see what they were, because I was like, interesting sort of unusual thing, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind a Phoenix smoker now. It's for smoking meat.
I would like to do, maybe if we keep plugging him, we can
we might get some freebies. I know that during the Coca-Cola NASCAR iRacing series, a few of the broadcast crew over in the States have been wanting a big green egg barbecue, so they made sure that they kept plugging them on the broadcast, and they come through with it. So maybe we might be able to get some goods from Phoenix Smokers if we keep talking about how good Phoenix Smokers are and look as a sponsor as well.
Talking smokers, I do remember one of the teams is also sponsored by the Q Club, which is an excellent place in Fitzroy that do amazing barbecue if you don't have room for a smoker.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Remember that group we were just talking about? That is all of them. Oh, and it's still going on. Guys are showing absolutely no care driving up through this group. You got a car stopped in the middle of the track. That's Mark Foster. Jack Childs is involved. Philip Paradiso's got through. A few cars that did make it through, but there's a few that didn't. And there's a few that are still battling. You can see the battle scars there on Adam Sharp. He's just been passed by Josh Maynard. John King's involved in this one too. But have a look at the battle scars on that car of Adam Sharp. There is nothing left on that car that's straight.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's got one mirror that's okay.
Well, at least you might be able to see Philip Paradiso. What a save by Philip Paradiso as well. I think he might have been doing well over 200 k's an hour there and had all 4 wheels on the grass, so definitely not too much grip out there. Thankfully, didn't come bumper as well, as we're just sitting with our front group as well. Still sitting at around 10 cars or so. They're quite spread out though. Us sitting, I think 12 cars split by...
No white flag, so 2 laps to go still.
Yeah, that's right there. I think that's Mosmeroz. So is Cook there bringing up the end of that train. You can just see off into the distance Ryan Cashew's kind of almost saved himself really with that huge accident by that following
Well,
group.
he hasn't got a group to catch him now, has he?
Yeah, that's right there. So it's actually put, I think that might be Stephen Owen.
And I tell you what, who this has hurt is Anthony Connors, championship leader in the AM class, going to finish last because he's not going to get back out there and gain any spots now because he's stuck in the pits serving the tow. So that's hurt him big time. Aaron Oliver, though, he's not worried about what's happening behind because he's looking in front, trying to take the lead side by side with Caleb Hydes into the outer loop. And won't quite do it, but he's going to try and over-under. Nope, not quite. He's just going to sit in behind and try and find another spot. I think if he can try and hold the outside, he might be able to get in up the inside at the toe. He couldn't quite do that. I think he's just waiting and watching, trying to make sure he's in the right spot at the right time on the last lap.
Yeah, well, being that second wheel is almost exactly where you want to be there. Great work there by, I think that was by Kai Allen. We did see some real good flashes of brilliance at Silverstone in that feature race. Really up there fighting with the best of them as well. So just seeing, I think this might be Aaron Oliver.
Yeah, this is Oliver.
Hemorrhoid Oils there. Hanging it around the outside there at the moment. So he feels like he's got the pace there at the moment. Probably doesn't want to push too far early on, but you'd have to say Caleb Hydes this season has absolutely been just such a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, and he's definitely waving the white flag this time. You can see that. Brad on Saturday night or Sunday, he said he believes that Barney might have been a former baseball player, baseball pitcher, with that arm movement. Whatever he used to do, he can definitely wave a flag very well now. This is officially the last lap. The clock has hit 0. And we are on our last 5.5 kilometres of this Watkins Glen circuit. Caleb Hyde's lead is nothing. From Aaron Oliver, Kai Allen, Mitch Mccloud, Jared Hughes, Aaron Russell, Lee Harrison, Matthew Hansford-Taylor, Wayne Losh, Mosmeroz and Brody Cook. Any one of these 11 cars could win this race.
Yeah, absolutely there, and we can see Kai Allen there pushing Caleb Hydes out in front there. Oh, want to be heavy on the brakes there. Did not leave a great deal of room there through the loop there at the bottom. See, Aaron Oliver has still trying to hold his own there, so he's going to have the inside. Oh, nothing separating those two, mirror to mirror all the way through there as well.
What a battle this is between Hydes, Oliver, Kai Allen, McLeod and Hughes have had their little battle as well. And Aaron Russell, Lee Harrison, they've had their own battle as well. So the two cars have sort of split up and having their own battles on this lap. The only car that doesn't seem to be battling with anyone at the moment is Caleb Hydes in the lead. Kai Allen and Aaron Oliver need to work a little bit better to catch him, but they're just letting him go at the moment. It's Kai Allen up the inside, a little bit of contact with Aaron Oliver, and McLeod almost runs out of road. 2 wheels in the grass, a little bit of contact with Aaron Oliver. And Oliver holds on to third, McLeod up into fourth, Lee Harrison gaining a spot as well in the background over Matthew Hansford-Taylor, but Caleb Hydes, remember at our first round at Okayama, clean swept last week. Had polar opposites, had a horrible week. Redemption though, for Caleb Hydes, he's going to pick up the win, and convincingly in the end. But who is going to be the rest of the top 5? Kai Allen, Aaron Oliver, Mitchell McLeod and Jared Hughes is the order. But what a race that was at the front. That was incredible. Good news is we can do it all again because we're going to see more battles continuing on down the field. This is Darren Sharp, Darren Linus, Tony Vassels, and led by Dave Gogol. But Sharp not quite close enough to potentially steal a position. Although that's a little mistake. He might be able to get a run. Not quite. What a fun race that was, though.
Yeah, great work there by Caleb Hydes, almost with who was it? Aaron Oliver and Kai Allen running it side by side, actually held up the rest of the pack there. So those two, unfortunately, having to take more shallow lines through those corners there. So Caleb Hydes was able to just put that pressure on and get those apexes in.
We'll quickly run through the results before we try and find some replays of what happened in what was a crazy race number 1. Don't go away, because we got the feature race coming up next. You thought that was crazy. We've got a full reverse grid incoming, but Caleb Hydes wins by almost 0.7 of a second in the end over Aaron Oliver and Kai Allen. Allen just pipping Oliver in the end with a little bit more of a run out of the last corner. Mitch Mccloud and Jared Hughes round out the top 5. Aaron Russell will probably be disappointed with 6th in the end, considering he qualified that car in 3rd. Lee Harrison in 7th. Matthew Hansel-Taylor in 8th. Wayne Losh in 9th. And Moz Moroz rounds out the top 10.
Yes, we've got Brady Cook there in 11th there. Ryan Casher, we saw with that incident, he was a bit hung out to dry. He's down in 12th place. So we'll give him the advantage, though, in the feature race over some of his compatriots there. Brady Owen, Simon Smith there, leading car of the AM class there. Neil McKenzie, Josh Maynard, John King, Philip Paradiso doing well there in 8th place there. Damien Seeger and Jack Childs there in 20th.
Yeah, great job from Simon Smith. He obviously pipped Neil McKenzie on that last lap as well, because McKenzie was leading at the start of the final lap. So that battle pack there with Dave Gogol, Darren Linus, Darren Sharp, and Tony Vasales. Then we got Brenton Bull in 25th. Jesse White-Carrig, who probably will be a little bit disappointed. He finishes in 26th. Adam Sharp, a long way back, in 27th position. Graham Ellis in 28th. Wade McCulloch in 29th position. And 30th goes to J.S. Walker.
There we go there. Todd George, Bard Rodkin there, and I do believe these are some of the cars that are involved in some early incidents. Darren Whittington, unfortunately, way down the field than where we normally see him there. Sebastian Bardnell. Martin Turner, the same as well. He was fastest during practice earlier in the week. He's going to have a good advantage over quite a lot of the field there. Mark Johnson as well. Glen Wood, Tom Huggan, Lucas McAuliffe, and Steve McMahon in 40th.
And we go over to our almost last page. This is second last group of drivers. Stephen Fawkes, Lucas Stasi, Greg Holmes, Mark Foster, Ben Ferguson. We've also got John Thorne, Richie Domingo, Joel Proctor, Anthony Connors, Luke Claver, who was involved in that big one as well. And our last 2 drivers, Lachlan Hewitt, who did take the start, and Ryan Ullman, who did not, unfortunately. We would normally take a break, but I don't think we can, because we need to work out what happened lap 1, and then in that second incident as well. Just trying to queue it up on my my other computer so that we can see exactly what happened without trying to guess what happened.
I'm very impressed with your multitasking ability. I guess it would be tricky trying to cast your eyes back to where we're going. So great work there by Caleb Hydes. That is absolutely what he needs points wise. We are going to cut to that replay. Oh. I was very impressed, though. He didn't let off the accelerator the whole way through. he did keep it pinned. I think he was probably more shocked. Yeah, starting to see that as a bit of a familiar sight there for Glen Wood. Just there's always so much unfortunate luck there. So
well, I'll try and get the secondary incident we saw. See if we can get a replay of that as well, which was that pack had. Who was in that pack again?
I know Philip Paradiso did go around the outside,
wasn't it? It was that pack.
Yeah, so we'll plug the sponsors: Palmer's Skincare, Simworx, KP Tech, Automotive Towing, Now Global Logistics, Phoenix Smokers that we mentioned. We'll mention them a few more through it. Oh, we'll give them another mention there. Get your meat smoked with a Phoenix smoker there, Rinaldi and Extreme Air Conditioning.
I've just realised the whole time we've been on replay and my microphone hasn't been working, so my apologies for that. But that was just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, gee, that was very high speed there for...
Let's look at Philip Paradiso, because you said he had a wild ride. Let's look at it. No idea what's going on. No idea, no idea. Oh, cars crashing everywhere. Wow. Wow.
That's it. His Karate Kid reaction time there. So very lucky to pick a MX-5 wide gap there. That
I don't think there was an MX-5 wide gap there, was there?
It was kind of opening as he went through there. I think the clouds kind of parted. So Philip Paradiso there, sponsored by KP Tech. So he'll be happy. He actually really good result as well. Bringing up the rear.
So 40 seconds until we get into this race. The big difference we've got from race 1 and race 2, as we said earlier, there's a couple of things. One of them is reverse grid. That's going to be crazy. But pit stops. We know that there is a pit stop required. They must take 2 tyres. We know that almost everyone will take left side tyres. But when do you pit? And do you make sure that you pit with your teammate or with someone that you can trust to try and make sure that you can work together? I think for me, working out and communicating with at least one, but maybe 2 or 3 drivers that you can work together with is probably more crucial than the actual time you pit. Pitting with people is probably more important.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Could be a possible chance of a safety car. Kind of structure that as a question maybe there, but we will see. I think Martin Turner will be really one to watch there. He'll be quite well up the field there and around 80th position there. We usually see Moz Moroz has had such a luck, absolutely dominated with some of these reverse grids. So we are going to see Ryan Ullman, Lachlan Hewitt, Luke Claver, Anthony Connors will be one to watch as well. Joel Proctor, Richie Domingo, John Thorne, Ben Ferguson, Mark Foster there in ninth. He's been really competitive in these feature races, as well as Greg Home in that top 10.
Glen Wood as well, starting 16th, will be interesting to watch as well. 30 minutes on the clock. We will get the full countdown because Ryan Ullman is not in the server, so he will not take to the starting grid. Unfortunate for him, but what that means is we're going to have a full 51 car grid. As we get ready to take the green flag. Barney's ready to wave it. He'll get the cue to do it right now. Green flag flies and a very good launch at the front, but a little bit steady. Sure, we're going to see a little bit of 3 wide and 4 wide action, and this race could be even more crazy in the midfield than we saw in race 1. Green flag starts the clock at 30 minutes. Let's see what carnage there is coming through. Guys are taking all sorts of avoiding action early on in the race through the grass at the exit of turn 1. That's how you do it. It looks like the front of the field is rather clean, but the last time I said that, I put the commentator's curse on good and proper.
Yeah, looking at
this is 3 wide up the S's. No, boys. No.
Miraculously getting it through there, but you are right. It's almost going to be trying to work out maybe for a little bit further down the back, maybe pitting in to try and avoid some of the carnage, but you do need someone to really jump on with there at the moment there. I think that it is Luke Claver currently in the lead. Just having a look at Martin Turner there in the Chicken Up Racing car, so he's already picked up.
Oh, no. Oh. John Thorne and the 30 car Ben Ferguson making contact, and it's going to continue on. There's a few other cars having some technical issues with so much crashing going on. It's still going on. The 30 car ends up in the wall, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a safety car come out from this, because that is half the field and my computer is not liking it at all.
Yeah, that was almost a track blockage through that boot section there. So see what race control chooses to do with there as well. Anthony Connors there, we've got in third place there at the moment. He's sitting in reasonably tight.
Are looking pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely there. So that is going to hamper the speed there of our really quick guys that we saw in Heat 1. So they might try and get a pit in early now. Work together again, try and work on that overlap.
We get the graphics and timing back on screen once the drivers have pitted and got some damage fixed and right on cue. Barney is throwing the yellow flag. You can see him doing so. Pit lane is closed.
We actually did see, I think, 2 cars, might have ducked in the pit lane just as that yellow flag was called. So I'm not too sure what's going to work out for them.
I think there was a secondary incident there too, where a few other cars have ended up coming together as well. So that's why the safety car has been called. But Luke Claver leads the field at the moment. Joel Proctor, Anthony Connors. One driver who I was going to say was going to be one to watch would have been Martin Turner, as you said before. Marty Turner doing a very, very good job. Aaron Oliver, though, already up 30 places. Kai Allen up 32 places. Not a bad first lap. Going from P51 up to P19 on lap 1. That's a pretty good effort, I reckon.
Yeah, I was trying to work out who some of those losers were in all that. Lee Harrison getting pushed 4 places down into around 50th position there at the moment. Moz Moroz also a little bit further down there. Ryan Casher also getting caught up in that. Might have to be reviewed that replay a little bit later. I'm sure your computer's kind of pleading for mercy in all this.
Look,
trying to keep an
eye out. My main one's
out.
pleading for mercy, but the one I can put the replays up on, I think we might be able to do it. Let's see if we can do it. While we're under caution, let's see if we can actually do it.
Yeah, Caleb Hodds did manage to get through there, so he's in 22nd position. Mitch Mccloud in 30th.
I think McLeod caught the back end of that one.
Yeah. So still with a chance with those guys as well. It is going to make it very hard to kind of come from the back of the field, especially when this track is not as technical as some of the others on the map there as well. So it's all going to come down to quite a lot of that strategy. So we'll just see cut to a VRS replay here.
So we're focused on the 77 of Tony Vaselis. It's in the background. There's Paradiso. You've got more cars flying ahead. There's already a big incident. So there's already cars making contact. And then there's more, and then more, and then more, and then they all come together. There's already another big wreck in front as well. And this is just messy.
Yeah, it was almost.
And there's McLeod making contact as well. You just saw there Aaron Russell involved as well. And then just behind them, you saw the car of...
Did see Lee Harrison there get turned around as well.
Yep. Who was it that was involved there that got through? It was Aaron Oliver. Who it was I was trying to think of. And just behind him was Caleb Hyde. So we're back live.
Just need to be mindful as well with these cars coming around there as well, because they're going to come across a wall of cars. Oh, we have seen incidents in the past here at Watkins Glen. It's a bit blind as they come around that right-hander through the S's there. You can see Philip Paradiso coming through there now. We have had incidents in some of the TCR racing before where we've had cars trying to bridge that gap back down to the cars behind the safety car, and when there's usually about 100 kilometres of speed difference there, it can be a bit catastrophic, but thankfully no incidents under safety car.
Aaron Russell's struggling a little bit with some steering on his car. Tell that's crabbing a tiny little bit. That's why he's not racing up to the back of the pace car as quick as you would think he would be. He's struggling. You see that actually, that front right-hand wheel isn't moving at all. There's no turn on the front right-hand wheel.
Yeah, so that's actually going to
So he's got a
make it
blown
even
tyre.
more difficult for those cars. Yeah, actually got a
Yep.
flat there as well. So
I hadn't noticed that until we came to that next shot. So you can see that the left-hand wheel's fine. The right-hand wheel, I'll see if I can get a shot on that side of the car. Probably can't because all the cameras will be on the outside of this corner, but we'll see if we can pick it up. But it's a pretty cool addition to iRacing that they've added in the last little while. Is the blown tyres. Here we go. I'll actually get a shot of it here. I click the right button here. Yeah. See, suspension's broken, not spinning.
oh, it
not
is
spinning.
too. Yeah, that is completely locked up.
Yep. So you saw it did spin a little bit when the ground was in the right position for it to spin. And then it stopped spinning in other spots. So, yep, completely damaged front tyre. Now, pit lane is open on this lap by, so we'll see if anyone wants to come in.
Oh,
And
we
the
did
answer-
see.
The answer should be most of the field. I don't think you'd want to stay out. Even if you've got no damage, I think you have to pit.
Yeah,
Really.
you'd honestly think you'd have to bank on another major incident and then try and pit, but even then that really wouldn't work too well. There can be actually, like, if you consider the amount of cars in pit lane at the moment, you could actually make a really good jump through the field there if you get into your pit box nice and straight. Interesting though.
Some people are taking right side tyres instead of left side tyres. I don't know if you've just noticed that too. I'm
Yeah,
wondering
might
if
have-
that was the same comment you were about to make.
Yeah, it might have just been a bit easier to,
Or maybe they just
Select
forgot
rollers.
altogether and it starts on that side.
yeah.
Or they're taking
No, I-
all four. If they've got a little bit of damage to the car, sometimes taking all four is not the worst option in the world.
I think that was a good decision by race control throwing that
Yeah,
yellow
agreed.
flag, because it was going to make it almost impossible for any of the guys a little bit further down the back to even get remotely close near the front. So it's also going to be kind of more of a single file restart as well, a little bit safer. So I think that is the lights there off the safety car. So
Yep.
we are going to go green. So whoever is out there at the moment, we did see, I think that is,
It's only three cars or 5 cars that haven't pitted. So Luke Claver, Lucas Stasi, Mark Foster, so first, second and fourth, they have not pitted. Marty Turner came in the lane, but I don't know if he's taken his 2 tyres. He may have just come in to get some damage fixed. And then back in the field, you've got Richie Domingo and Graham Ellis, who did not pit as well. Which is surprising if you're that far back in the field that you didn't pit. So, what a crazy race. And big gainers out of the pit stops. Well, you'd have to say that it's Aaron Oliver, who now finds himself in 14th position after the pit stop. And he did take all 4. He did do his 2 tyre stop. So that 70 car is now up 36 positions in this race. Just a couple.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely there. So almost, you could say every corner would be a few positions if you average it out there as well. So we've actually, I did maybe jump the gun a little bit. They're actually going to extend the caution
Extend
there
the caution,
by another lap there. So if we didn't take those that pit service, you
Well, it's
are
still
going
going
to
to
get
hurt them, isn't it? Because they're going to drop to the back of the field either way. If they take it now, when the pits are now still open, they're going to drop to the rear of the field. I guess they now have to run as long as they can, don't they, to minimise the damage that they've got from not taking that pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Still a strange call. I don't understand why they wouldn't have pit.
I think maybe caught up in the moment. The radio chatter was, there was a lot happening in a very short space of time, so might have maybe distracted a few people. So we are going to see our front 3 coming to the pits. It is going to actually, yeah, you're exactly right. It is going to push them all the way down to the end of the line there.
The issue
So
that they're going to have too is because iRacing runs off NASCAR rules, the pit exit is going to be closed for them too. So they can't even leave the pits until all of the cars have passed the pit exit. They're going to come out pretty much at the back of the field.
bit
Marty
unfortunate
Turner now
though.
leads. Who is having some tech issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, is that it? So that is a lap car, I do believe.
Yeah, Matt Hansford Taylor is, well, technically he's not a lap down because he's ahead of the lead car, but he's pretty much a lap down. You could say he's a lap down. So 34 cars, other cars on the lead lap, and Matthew Hansford Taylor will try and stay on the lead lap. He may get a wave around, fingers crossed. See if that happens.
Seeing a few cars just sorting themselves out there at the moment. I think that might be Darren Sharp, I think.
You know what? I can. Let's see if I can wave him around.
I think they actually are dishing out a couple of wave rounds.
Yeah, they
as
are.
well.
Oh, in saying that, that could be an actual iRacing wave around. Some of those drivers with that extended. Tell you what, they're giving me admin, so I probably could have just waved him around, but I probably shouldn't, just in case I'm not allowed. I don't want to get the naughty book thrown at me.
I think they're actually discussing it at the moment, whether or not they actually are going to let Hansford Taylor through, because I do believe, by the sounds of it, they are going to leave Hansford Taylor in that position. So not going to be too much of a problem there, though. So Hansford Taylor is pretty quick there, so it's not really going to allow many of the other cars to actually really come through there. You can see he will have to eventually slot himself in behind there, but Martin Turner has had some really unfortunate luck there. A couple of the chicken up cars not having the greatest start to the season there, but he's absolutely in the hot seat now to change those fortunes around.
Just sorting some things out in the back end to see if I can close anything that's open that shouldn't be. That might fix up some issues. So bear with me.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm always big fan of the chicken up gents.
Oh, for sure.
Almost cast my mind back to Panorama's Drivers Club.
Well, I remember going back to the original Aussie car series of the Australian Turbo Touring Car Championship. They had some amazing looking cars in that series as well. But yeah, you're right on that one too. With such a cool series that was too, Panorama Drivers Club. Love bringing that to people on Saturday afternoons once a month. Very, very cool series. As pace car very, very lately pulls in, and we go green. And believe it or not, while we've been under that first lap and safety car, almost half the race is gone. Aaron Oliver is now into 11th too with those pit stops happening, so he's already up 40 positions with that move there, getting him into the top 10. That's 40, and that's 41.
Yeah, that was almost 3 positions there, almost in one corner there, so it just doesn't really have the momentum to be able to pull himself out of that hole there at the moment, so to see clean out. But you're absolutely right there, it's turned into almost a second sprint race, so
Marty Turner is doing a very, very good job too. Just sorry to cut you off, is he and Hansford Taylor are actually working together now. The Hansford Taylor wants to stay on the lead lap, but he's okay with helping the car, the chicken up car of Martin Turner. Now, my graphics are showing that Hansford Taylor is a pro driver. His car is showing that he's an AM driver. The reason showing as a pro is because I didn't know, because he hadn't raced yet, so it wasn't in my list. So that is why it's showing different on our graphics to what it is showing on his car. I'll get confirmation and have it updated for next week.
There, so I'm seeing some pretty close racing.
Sharp passing Sharp.
There you go, a bit of sharp on sharp action as well. A lot of cars trying to fight for position. We've been, don't want to say it, but not looking too bad there at the moment, maybe.
I am sitting at a wooden desk, so touch wood, we're okay.
But maybe if we just keep our eyes, I think that might be Glen Wood there.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we could just keep our eyes on him. Because we know, usually if there's trouble around the circuit, he's pretty quick at finding it. So
not wrong. Because Glen, racing in the real world, runs in the GT4 series.
He had that beautiful KTM crossbow.
Yes,
I think,
he and Lee Harrison used to race it together.
Yeah, nice.
Of course, everyone knows Glen's brother, Dale, who's been a guest commentator here on SimSpeed before, who's famously quoted as saying, "Loving sitting here commentating in my undies on my bed."
That's right. They actually
just send it.
That's right. They used to include it in the intro.
Yeah, it was weird. The only reason Dale jumped into comms was to bag out his brother. That's Kai Allen through the grass. How did he save that?
There by
How did he
Kai
save
Allen.
that?
That's it. Keeping the boot in there.
That's some crazy
never
driving.
moment like
And that's the effective, or that's the race one winners area. That's where all of those guys that were in the lead group in race one were together. Kai Allen was part of that group, remember? He was ahead of them all there, and he's just given up all of those positions to guys that he's going to struggle to get past. Caleb Hydes, Wayne Losh, we've got Simon Smith, who won the AM class. So a heap of guys that are very, very quick in that group.
Yeah, and they'll all be pushing in pretty hard from behind. So
Aaron Oliver also now fighting for 7th position. And there it is, around the outside of Tom Huggett, and he's trying to get through a 3 wide through the toe of the boot. Does not happen, but well, it just did. Now he's got to try and get past Proctor.
yeah, so Aaron Oliver on an absolute banger of a race there. So he'll almost be up for, I think, cumulative points. Might be a bit too early to call it, but the way that he's positioned at the moment, he might actually walk away with the winner of this round. Really, Caleb Hydes there in 14th is just that little bit too far adrift.
Seeing Wayne Losh has just dropped out of the race altogether. So, if I can pick up what has happened to him. Oh, he's got huge damage to the front of his car. If I can, I don't know if I can, but I'll see. Oh, he's made contact with the 881 car. Stephen Foltz and he have made contact in the run up, or in the chute section up to turn 9. We'll bring that replay at the end of the race, but that was heavy hit there for Wayne Losh.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. They're having a pretty successful race one there, and he's going to hurt their team championship as well. Between himself and Mitch Mccloud there was a little bit further up there. Oh, everyone just trying to pick a line there that is going to keep giving that advantage to Martin Turner there, running 2 wide, 3 wide like they have been, and he's going to slow them up a little bit. Martin Turner can really take those nice wide entries and exits there.
And I'll tell you what, those numbers look fake. They're real. Aaron Oliver up 43 positions now, and his pace at the moment is good enough to get to P1 with the amount of time left. This is not over, and Aaron Oliver is on for a near last to first win. And I think after we saw it at Okayama, I didn't think we'd see anyone from that back group get themselves way up to the front like we did then. But Aaron Oliver is in contention for doing it again.
Yeah, absolutely there. So it would be hard to imagine, I think, how the result would have panned out without that safety car, but obviously with such heavy accidents that we've seen, that it was definitely the right call to make there. Right over, so he's going to have to get around this car there. I think the car might be, I think, Joel Proctor there.
Lucas McAuliffe ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Lucas McAuliffe. So
you can see from the colours as well, and you can see on his car, AM, red defining our AM drivers, blue defining our pro drivers. So even if he does get through, it doesn't change the points in either championship. The effective championship lead at the moment, or sorry, the effective race winners at the moment. Put on that little graphic, Anthony Connors, who of course is the championship leader in the AM class. He will, well, he's leading at the moment with McAuliffe in second. You can see him just up the road a little bit. Not the next car up, but the one above that. Aaron Oliver is having a little bit more trouble getting past than he would have thought. The leader, of course, in Pro. Yes, the car just magically appears again. Is that chicken up car of Marty Turner. Darren Oliver finally gets through, so that's 5th position now for Oliver. Doing a very, very good job. I know the fan club is watching too, so hopefully there's a little bit more happiness in the fan club tonight than what there was last night and last week. This battle here. This is the guys that were in that lead group for race 1. Aaron Oliver, you've got Kai Allen in there, you've got Luke Claver in there, Steve McMahon's in that battle pack as well as Lucas Stasi. This is a full-on little battle pack right here. This is for 14th on back, I should say.
Actually just see Caleb Hyde's just out of shot there, currently leading the group just in front, but you are right there. Aaron Oliver will have to that gap there was about a second or so he's brought it down to about 7/10, so he'll have to work pretty hard, try and bring that if he can stick around that 7/10 there. Martin Turner though, sorry,
some tech issues.
Yeah, that was a tech issue there. I almost thought he'd dropped off the road.
I've been watching that. It's been dropping in and out. You can see now. So visually, Marty Turner is there. And Aaron Oliver is only 2.2 seconds back. And he's about to get past that lap down car. That is the car of Matthew Hansford-Taylor, who of course did start at the front of the field for our restart. But Aaron Oliver now, 2.1. How's this for pace? Fastest lap of the race, Aaron Oliver. 2 minute 5.8. The first time in this entire race in the 205s.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoa, we're just actually caught off camera there. Brody Cook, and I think that might have been Simon.
Whoa! Simon Joel Smith upside down.
Simon Joel Smith.
He's
there.
not going to get back-to-back wins.
Oh, I was a bit anxious there, reversing back onto the racing line there. But actually, great story there of Darren Whittington as well, actually having a little bit of luck go his way. So starting from 20th position up into 3rd, or sorry, from 19th position. So Whittington doing pretty well there. We're just seeing a few cars flicker. It almost makes me scared to think that there might have been a heavier accident maybe down the line.
Yeah, I'm too scared to look at the bottom of my timing sheet, because that's usually what it means when my computer starts flickering like that there's been some bigger issue. And I can see on my second PC that there definitely is a bigger issue. I can see Todd George has been involved, Moz Moroz has been involved in something big, and also Lachlan Hewitt has been involved. So not only was there that issue we saw with Simon Joel Smith and Joshua Maynard, unfortunately, there was a second incident as well, as Aaron Oliver is now on the tail of the lead group. This lap here, he has dropped 1 second on the leaders and is on track to break the fastest lap of the race once again. This lap looks like it is purple all down the timing. There we go, Anthony Connors. That's not for position in regards to class, but it's position on track. Aaron Oliver is in the lead group. Top 4 are going to fight it out. 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and we have had Jack Childs as well take the lead from Martin Turner, but not
Whittington.
Whittington. That is absolutely going to slow those 3 up there as well. It's even going to give a bit more advantage there to Aaron Oliver now. Only 4/10 off those guys, so he's going to be absolutely powering past them on this straight section as well. It's actually given bit of breathing room there to Jack Childs there, with that slight contact there between Darren Whittington and Martin Turner there. You can see Aaron Oliver charging through there. Darren Whittington, I didn't think he was actually going to give him that room there.
Not that much room anyway. He gave him a lot more. He was a lot more friendly than a lot of people would have been. But Aaron Oliver now into second position. That was a pretty cool shot there from on board with Darren Whittington. Wondering if Whittington thinks he can try and hold it around the outside. No, he backs out of it, and position done. One foul swoop. Aaron Oliver goes from 4th into 2nd and is there for the lead of the race. Back in the field a little bit, side by side here. This is Forks, Kai Allen, Aaron Russell and Darren Sharp. A little bit of Pro and Am mixed in together at the back end of the top 10. So one other driver to watch is this one. This little battle here Brady Owen, who of course won race 2 last week. Caleb Hydes, who won race 1 this week and race 1 and 2 in our first week. They're battling for 6, and just behind them is Lucas Mccloud, Tom Huggan, Joel Proctor, and a couple of lap down cars as well. So a little bit of a mixed up group of drivers there. We go back to the front though, because Aaron Oliver is ready to pounce over the Mach 1 driver of Jack Childs. He is teaming up with Josh Maynard in this series, so it is Maynard Sim Racing as the team. Of course, Mach 1 livery for Jack Childs, one of my favourite liveries to the Mach 1 liveries. I do like the look of those cars.
So you just see Philip Paradisio, I think that might be in the foreground taking some tyres, so not too sure what has gone on there. A bit unlucky there for Philip Paradisio, especially starting a bit further up there. Darren Whittington shooting super wide there. He's going to have to cut across the grass, not losing
We'll be
too
looking
much
for
momentum.
some Briggs & Stratton sponsorship for a lawnmower for next round.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to go. Darren Whittington holding the outside. Aaron Oliver is going to be boxed in there. So,
yep.
Oh, and they do hit their broken mirror. I think that might be by Aaron Oliver there. So,
Marty Turner just behind, still having his tech issues as well. So, I'm not the only one. Makes me feel a little bit better as there's nose-to-tail contact there between Oliver and Childs. Just giving him a little friendly tap. Hey, don't brake check me because I'll punt you and put you around if you do. The Childs, Oliver, Turner, Whittington, Anthony Connors, this top 5 group, they've now managed to pull a gap now. So the top 5 are well and truly settled unless they make contact. The next group is 5 seconds back, but that is led by Caleb Hydes and Brady Owen, Lucas Mccloud, Tom Huggan. Also in that group too is Kai Allen, Joel Proctor, Adam Sharp, Aaron Russell, Luke Claver. Have a look at this pack. There's 15 odd cars in this pack. Where did I get to? Luke Claver, Stephen Folks, Darren Sharp, all in this pack together. There's legitimately 15 cars. As we've got a new leader, Aaron Oliver's taken the lead.
yeah, so just picking that gap there on Jack Childs at the moment. So, Jack Childs, though, right on his rear bar. So, it's not going to let Oliver get away. He'll have to try and carry that momentum through the corners there, as we see one of the Sharp Racing cars there. At the moment, on board with Jack Childs, doing absolutely exceptional as well, starting from 32nd position. So he definitely did not get a leg up on everyone else. He's had to put in a lot of hard work, much like the rest of the guys as well there. These three are only separated by about 3/10 at the moment, so they're all within striking distance of each other there. We're going to see Darren Whittington's going to go really
He
wide
loves
again.
that line out there, doesn't he?
That's right.
He doesn't care about the penalty for being out so wide. You also saw Barney was waving the white flag, so confirmation this is the final lap of the race. Jack Childs in second. He started in 32nd. Darren Whittington started in the teens. Has had it a little easier in that aspect, but I'll tell you what a battle he's been in here. 3 wide, down the straight. Whittington ahead. Aaron Oliver back to third, but he's got the inside line. Whittington's got enough pace, so he's taken the lead back.
Oh
no, he's too deep.
very slight bump there. That was a bit of an assistance there by Aaron Oliver. The most gentle of gentle taps there. He's going to be not too happy about that. Martin Turner there into the back there. They're starting to, the more and more, the less and less corners they got, I think the more and more the stakes are rising there. So Aaron Oliver
100%.
did get a move done here on Jack Childs there.
In the
I think
background,
only a lap or so ago.
Connors. So in the background, Anthony Connors had a huge slide, but he's not going to lose that lead of the AM class. Got a few seconds to that second group. So the lead group of 4 in our pro class are all going to fight it out all the way to the checkered flag. Who is going to take it? Oliver looking up the inside of Jack Childs. No contact. Jack Childs is ahead. But Oliver's going to try and throw it up the inside. At turn 9, not quite there as they come over the bridge. Only 2 corners to go in what has been an enthralling race. An absolutely grandstand of a race. We've only ended up with 16 odd minutes of racing, but it has been absolutely intense. Just seeing there's been an incident in the background too between Luke Claver and Adam Sharp. But through the final corner, is it going to be Jack Childs? Is it going to be Aaron Oliver? Who's it going to be at the line? side by side. It looks like Childs is going to just do enough. And he does. Childs, Oliver, Turner, separated by less than 1/10 of a second for all three. And well done as well to Anthony Connors for picking up the win in the AM class with a very, very good drive as well. There's been battles the whole way through the field. McLeod, Glen Wood, they were separated by literally nothing. 9 thousandths of a second separated those two at the line. What a race that was. That was an incredible battle, and we've still got guys still battling it out. This is Wade McCulloch and Graham Ellis still going at it. These are the last two runners on the lead lap. No, actually, there's a couple more still coming around, but great to see that we've got battles the whole way up and down the field. We can't always focus on a lot of them because there's so much going on. But what a race that was. That was incredible.
Yeah, great work. I think all those top four, they're all going almost from about 20th position onwards. So all of them putting in a lot of hard yards there as well. Anthony Connors doing really well, defending, starting near the front there and really defending that as well. So I think Kai Allen was another big gainer, Caleb Hydes as well. So Aaron Oliver almost from last to first. I think he was second last to second. So absolute stellar drive though. We almost thought if it was going to be another lap.
This was the incident with Wayne Losh. Sorry, just got a little hit from behind and bang into the wall. Then unfortunately he made contact with another car. I don't remember off the top of my head who it was. Yes, I do. Joshua Maynard, who was lucky enough to actually still finish the race, but Wayne Losh doesn't appear to have. So unfortunate. We will get a replay of the big incident at the start of the race that brought out our safety car once again in a moment though. But we'll go through the results of the feature race. Jack Childs by 600ths of a second over Aaron Oliver. Martin Turner does finish in third position in the end. Darren Whittington in fourth. What a great drive from all four of those guys. But Aaron Oliver up 47 positions to finish in position number 2 in that race. Great drive. Anthony Connors, well done to him, picking up a well-needed recovery win in race 2 in the AM class after unfortunate end in the first race, putting him back in the field. Go back to Brady Owen and Caleb Hydes. Caleb Hydes losing that spot to Brady Owen, who he was battling with for a lot of that race on the last lap. Only, what's that? 12 thousandths of a second separating those two guys. We got Lucas McAuliffe. Tom Huggan finished second and third in the AM class, with Kai Allen rounding out the top 10 overall. That is 7th in the Pro class.
Joel Proctor there in 11th there. Aaron Russell there starting all the way from the back as well. They're up in a 12th place. Great drive. Stephen Folks, Darren Sharp there. Very well up the AM order as well. Brady Cook, Steve McMahon, Glen Wood. As we saw, Mitch McCloud, Damien Seagar and Adam Sharp there in 20th position.
Going down a little bit further, and we said about that gap between Wood and McLeod being literally nothing. It was 100th of a second in the end. 21st goes to Brenton Bull, Phil Paradiso. Good recovery from him. He had a wild old night, avoiding more wrecks than anyone else in the field. Finishes 22nd. Luke Claver in 23rd. 24th goes to Lucas Stasi with Mark Foster in P25. Wade McCulloch in 26th with Graham Ellis next. We got Wayne Losh finishing 28th. Lucky that he actually did get to finish the race, even though they had that incident with Maynard, who unfortunately was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Picks up 29th in the end for him. Richie Domingo rounds out the top 30.
Yeah, we do have, that is going to be John Thorne there in 31st position there. Matthew Hans-Vertel there we did see. Todd George, Lee Harrison unfortunately getting caught up in a lot of incidents. John King, Tony Vaselis, Darren Linus, Neil McKenzie, Jesse White Carrick there, and Bard Rodkin. Didn't see too much of Bard Rodkin. I think he's unfortunately a bit of a pinball as well there. Dave Gogol, JS Walker, Ben Ferguson, Ryan Kasha. So our championship leader there, finishing all the way down in 44th position. That's going to really affect his championship campaign there. Jared Hughes, Mark Johnson as well. Valentino Rossi, 46, finishing in 46th place there. Sebastian Vardnell, and then we've got a few more of our non-finishers there of Lachlan Hewitt, Simon Smith, and Greg Holmes there in 50th.
Yep, and then the last page is Moz Moroz and Ryan Ullman. before we get to driver interviews, there is one quick look we have to take because we saw the gap on screen between Caleb Hydes and Brady Owen, and this was the run to the line between them two. You can see that it's literally nothing. I tell you what, Caleb Hydes needed the line to be an extra 50 metres up the road and he would have got that one.
Almost an extra 5 metres up the road.
Yeah, it
almost,
wasn't much, was it? That's what 12 thousandths of a second looks like. We'll go to driver interviews though. Nick, I'm going to let you start off this week. Who would you like to grab? You can grab whoever you like.
Or who will I pick? I think I might start with, we'll say the easiest person there, Marty Turner in third place, so I'll bring him in. Congratulations, Marty Turner with our third place. So all the way up there from 18th position. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so it was pretty intense, really. That second one, there was a lot of crashes and people going everywhere, and just tried to stay away from the carnage and do the best I could, and had the safety car, and just pitted, and I was at the front, so I just went from there, really. But the battle at the end was just insane. Unfortunately, my race one was a shocker. I didn't have my teammate with Ashley Norman this week, so my quali was terrible because you really need that draft. So, interesting night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you did start there around 16th place. So it has been a pretty hard championship for you with Okayama and Silverstone at the moment. Not really getting much luck there, but definitely showing some pace. Potentially, just trying to remember. I do this every week. I always forget the track that's coming in next week. But have you got more of a strategy together to try?
Red Bull Ring. I'll help you out. Red Bull next week.
Okay.
There we go. So there'll be another big drafting track, I think. So
yeah, they're all pretty drafty.
Yeah, and you're exactly right there. It does really go to show how much working with teams and stuff it makes such a massive difference there. Any particular moments there, maybe in race 1 or race 2, that stood out for you?
Well, getting taken out in race 1 has probably stood out for me. I didn't really see what happened, so it could have been my fault as well. But just that battle in the last few laps there at the front in that second race was pretty insane. And some pretty hairy moments. So that was interesting night. Pretty crazy.
Absolutely there. So, well, congratulations again, Marty Turner. Any people and sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd just like to thank my Chicken Up teammates, as usual, Mitch and Ash. Hopefully Ash will be around next week and give me a tow. And Prestige Trophy and Badge and Baz's Fencing. And and you guys for doing the broadcast. Thanks for that.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that third place again, and we'll catch you next week.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
I'm going to take the race winner from race number 1, Caleb Hydes. Congratulations on race 1, and almost got there in race 2. And that last position right at the end there, how close was that? You needed an extra 10, 15 metres and you would have had him.
How you doing there, Caleb?
Caleb?
Oh, hello, guys.
Hello. You ignoring me? How rude is that? I was just talking you up to. I'm going to tell your team boss as well that you were rude and ignored me. No, but congratulations on race 1, and you almost gained another spot at the end of race 2 as well. But talk us through race 1 and how intense that battle was. With I think there was 11 of you fighting for that win in race 1.
Yeah, it was really close. Having started on pole, I just wanted to hold that inside on that long back straight because I knew that you couldn't really hold it around the outside in the outer loop corner. That was just the plan for the whole race. I think I got passed by Aaron around the middle of the race, but I was able to get back out front, and then me and Kai were trying to work together, and we came 1-2 race 1. So that worked out really well.
Race 2 was pretty crazy though. You and a few others that started right at the back of that second race managed to almost all get through the carnage in that 20th, 25th on back little crazy pack. Talk us through how you felt when you come through past the outer loop and saw cars flying through the air and blocking the track every direction.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I just wanted to make sure I would get past it. I think I was calling it like 20 Ks or something in that little small section on the start of the boot because last race in Silverstone last round was shocking. I think finished like 36th or something. So I just wanted to make sure I could get to the end, and I saw like a lot of the guys that were running up front race 1 were involved. I got a tiny bit of damage, but I didn't have to tow or anything, and I was able to get up to seventh for the second race. So yeah, I was glad to make it through, and yeah, just get to the pit stop, took my fast repair, and just kind of had an easy race to the finish. So it was good.
Yeah, when you take out the AM drivers as well, it puts you up to 6, so that makes it feel even better.
There we go.
The Red Bull rig next week, and I'm pretty sure you'll have your teammate back with you because no other commitments next week. Looking forward to that one. And your thoughts going into the amazing track in Austria?
Yeah, that should be really fun. I haven't driven that track in this car, but I'd assume it would be awesome. I mean, any car around that track I've really enjoyed. So yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have the other drop bear cars in there. So yeah, it should be good fun.
Yeah, and I'll back that up and say that I've enjoyed broadcasting every race I've done there so far as well, which has been plenty so far. But we'll let you thank your sponsors, and you can go and cheer your teammates on in other events as well.
Cool. I'd just like to say a big thank you to the team, Dropman Motorsports, team sponsors, and Cozy, Sam Blacklock Media, Hybrid Racing Simulations, and Revolution Race Gear.
There is Caleb Hyde's winner of race 1 and P7 in the end in race 2. Next up, Nick, you're stood by with very, very hard charging Aaron Oliver.
I'll bring him in. Congratulations there, Aaron Oliver. I think almost taking out the round cumulatively there with a second in qualifying there, third place there in Heat 1 there, and a feature there in race 2.
Yeah, cheers, boys. It was a pretty hectic night of racing, that's for sure, But yeah, cheers.
Yeah, no problems at all there. So that's really going to do quite well there, I think, for both yourself there and Caleb Hydes in the championship campaign. I think both Wayne Losh there and Ryan Casher, they're very well down the order there. So going to give you a good leg up coming into the Red Bull ring. Any strategies or any plans that you've got?
Honestly, at the moment, it's just a bit of luck, What we saw in that race just then, it was all about keeping your nose clean on the first lap and trying to make it through all the carnage. And we managed to do that in the feature, set ourselves up well for the pit stop under the safety car, came back out just outside of the top 10 and just got just put my head down and got going, and passed as many cars as we could and got to the front in the end. Then we just missed out by 6/100. So yeah, it's all a bit of luck and a bit of strategy, and yeah, you'll get through it,
Yeah, absolutely. There it was. That safety car really kind of threw the cat amongst the pigeons there, but we saw so many cars there, unfortunately, getting involved in that lap 1 incident, and very, very fortunate there to kind of escape all that carnage as well. So
I've got a question before you wrap it up. And how are you handling the pressure of having the biggest fan club in all of Australian sim racing, watching you each and every week and getting involved in the YouTube chat?
I love it, mate. I love having.
I love it too.
Supporters behind me. It's great to have him on the watching the stream and that each week. Always post the link up on Facebook and that, and try to get as many people of my real life supporters over onto the YouTube and follow me on the sim during the week. It gives them something to get around on their weeknights and that, especially with no real racing on live TV at the moment. So it's great to get aboard the sim racing, and support your local young gun in that. But
are you talking yourself up there?
What's that, mate?
You're talking yourself up there, calling yourself the local young gun?
That's what I've been told in the past. I'm just using other people's words, communicating with the fans.
We'll have to include it in the stream in the future.
I'm going to add it to the lower third now to say Aaron Young Gun Oliver.
Yeah, no. Wouldn't be a bad idea, that's for sure, boys.
We've been given the sponsors a fair old plug, but I'll give you the chance to give them a plug personally as well, and call that one in for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't do it without Penrod Oil, obviously. The Simworx boys sponsoring us this year in the Extreme team. It's great to have them aboard. Joe Mariana from Harcourt's Real Estate. Mitch Mechanical Racing. He's currently building my new XL. It's just gone off to him to put in the new roll cage, and soon we'll be back on track in that. Motivate Training, Repco Australia Murray Bridge, MB Weldon Engineering Co. Revolution Race Gear Adelaide, Live in the Dream Australia, Murray Bridge Batteries, and finally we've had a new sponsor come aboard during the week, Open Pit Lane. They provide a service that's or as many laps as you want, you know, throughout the whole day. The pit lane's open and you can just go out there and do endless laps. So yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers,
excellent.
boys.
I would be guessing by the sounds of Murray Bridge that would be down at the Bend
Yes,
racetrack, I'd guess.
that certainly is. And yeah, I do live in Murray Bridge. We relocated here about 3 years ago and I've worked at the Bend since I was 13 at the high kart circuit, and now I don't know if you've seen on my Facebook page, but I also do the driver experience program in their Mustangs, and I do a bit of driver tutoring and take the people for hot laps.
Oh, I'm absolutely holding you to that. I reckon I'm gonna, possibly Jay as well.
Yeah, well, next time I'm over there, I'll hit you up.
Certainly, let us know, boys, and we'll have to organise something.
Definitely. Congratulations, Aaron, on a really good result tonight, and thoroughly deserved. Good luck for a change. You often find yourself at the short end of the luck spectrum, but you had mostly good luck tonight, which is a nice change for you in a sim speed broadcast.
Certainly, can't complain, boys. Cheers again.
We'll no doubt talk to you again soon. We'll wrap up this broadcast with our winner from race number 1. Congratulations, top step of the podium, Jack Childs. Well done. What a race. What a battle at the end, though, to try and hold on from Aaron, who was well and truly charging the whole way through the field. And you probably were seeing him slowly gaining on your relative as well and closing up gaps and getting himself right in there.
Yeah, he drove a great race. I could slowly see him coming, and he, at the end, great racing. Can't thank him enough. It was pretty clean, most of it, and it was just great fun.
Talk us through that battle, though, and your plan going into that last lap. Where were you thinking was the right spot to be, and what position did you want to try and put the car in on that run down the back straight and coming up into the outer loop?
Well, coming onto that back straight, I was in P2, so I went to go outside to try and get the outside line for coming off the back straight. So I thought there's no way I could get it on the inside because they would have it protected. So I went around the outside and it seemed to work. I was hung out there and she seemed to get it through for P1.
It was a really solid drive, and well done in getting in the right spot at the right time. Were you thinking, coming up to the start of that final lap, was being P2 the place you wanted to be, or would you have preferred to be in the lead starting that last lap?
I think I preferred to be in P2 to start the lap, so I didn't defend for that first position. Great driving by Aaron. He placed the car really well. It was just good racing.
It was a fantastic night of racing overall, but we move on next week to a fantastic track at the Red Bull Ring. What are your thoughts on that? What are you looking forward to going forward next week to the Red Bull Ring?
It's a great track. Had a bit of success there, but just got to put in some hours of testing, and I think it'll go pretty good.
I think quite a few are looking forward to it next week as well, as are we here in the booth as well. Anyone you'd like to thank and shout out to while you've got the chance, Jack? The floor is yours.
I'd like to thank Dave Clemo and Adam Garner from Mac 1 Esports and Aaron Oliver for great racing and the boys.
There you have it. Jack Childs, the race winner in the main event. To wrap up our night, Nick, as we said, next week we go on to a totally different track in one aspect, but a track that feels very familiar in others, because long straights, plenty of drafting opportunities. It's going to provide tight, close racing, but it's not quite as wide, and there's a little bit more elevation, so it's going to be a little bit different. Of course, we're talking about the Red Bull Ring in Austria. It is going to be fantastic. It has already become one of my favorite tracks within iRacing. It is a fantastic track, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly right, as well as with MotoGP being there in the last 2 rounds, so very, very excited there. Almost a bit of that same essence, I suppose, to Watkins Glen, so not as fast, and the layouts are quite different and quite unique, but very much kind of like that, not super technical, but really about that strategy. So it's not really going to favour maybe some of our drivers like Ryan Casher and Caleb Hydes and a few of the others there with that really technical edge over some of the others. It's actually going to really, I think, bring that mid-pack through.
And it will be the first time we see the MX-5 at the Red Bull Ring here on SimSpeed, and we're looking forward to it. We said you can catch it next week at the same time, Tuesday night, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. 9:30 GMT, 0930 GMT. If you are trying to work it out wherever you are, you can work it out yourself. I can't work it out for everyone. We go through the sponsors though, because we need to thank these guys because they do a lot to help us run this series. Big shout out to the admins as well. Going to shout out to Greg Holmes, to Lee Harrison and Wayne Losh for their work behind the scenes, but a big thanks as well to Simworx for their naming rights partnership with this championship. They are so important to have on board for this series, as well as Palmer's, KP Tech, Automotive Towing, now Global Logistics, Extreme Air Conditioning, Rinaldi, and Phoenix Smokers. Nick Scrave, thank you very much for jumping in.
Oh, no problems at all, Jade. Thank you for pushing the buttons and yeah, you're doing quite a lot and talking at the same time. So
yeah, it is tough to do both, but we'll have Jake Sperry back for next week, thankfully, because I'm not as good at doing this as he is, which he's pretty decent at it. So we'll have him back for the Simworx Sports Car E-Series next week at the Red Bull Ring. This is SimSpeed TV. That was the Simworx Sports Car E-Series. Your winner for tonight, Race 2, Jack Childs. Race 1, Caleb Hydes. In the AM class, we had Anthony Connors and Simon Smith. We thank you for watching, and we will see you in 1 week in Austria.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God! Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get involved.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go. Oh no.
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?